Alright everybody, welcome back to some 428 Shibuya Scramble. We are back where Tama decides whether or not to give it to Sasayama or the businessman. I gave it to Sasayama last time, which led to Kano being essentially poisoned with burning hammer. So now we're gonna switch it off to the businessman. Here you go, sir. A free sample for Burning Hammer, the greatest and the latest and greatest diet drink. The businessman flashes me a look of utter contempt and makes a point of avoiding me as he slips past. Bam. There goes the wind right out of my sails. I wonder how the other ascot is doing now. And we know what happens with Cheery. She fucking kills it. So now we're gonna go back to Kano. We're gonna look away nonchalantly, but we know we're just gonna stare at him again. And then Sasayama comes up. Yep, we already know all this. Oh wait. Now he's been a Santa Claus, Yakuza member, Japanese folk singer, and a Buddhist priest. Last time it was different. Amusing, core could become tedious. Concentrate, keep your eyes peeled. Sasayama gave Kano a pat on the backside and slipped away into the next car. Okay, now we're back where we were. The suspect, meanwhile, was still staring out the window. And his electric voice filled the train compartment. Next stop, Harajuki. Next stop, Harajuki. I probably pronounced that all wrong, but... Huh? Kano almost cried out. The suspect was moving toward the exit door. Apparently he was only taking the train one station down the line. What the fuck is he doing? The train pulled into Harajuku station and the man got off. The area east, a bustling post station. It bustles instead with high schoolers after school displaying flashy youth fashion. Accessory stores and fast food restaurants line the streets. Many cutting-edge heads in Japanese youth culture get their start here. The detectives following him disembarked accordingly. The suspect walked along the platform and took a seat on an empty bench. Was he checking to see if he had a tail? Sticking around on the platform at a station when you just got off was pretty unusual behavior. Not wanting to arouse the man's suspicions, every investigator from the MPD made their way down the stairs as inconspicuously as they could. Kano, however, had a sudden inspiration and went to speak to one of the station attendants. Sorry to bother you, but I think I left something on the train just now. He tried to keep an eye on the man on the bench as he fed his story to the attendant. The suspect sat silently on the bench, briefcase clutched securely in his arms. He didn't really look like he was checking for a tail. Was he waiting here for someone else then? For long, the train heading counterclockwise and around the loop arrived. The man rose from the bench and stepped up to the boarding area. What? Wait, what the fuck? If this guy got on a counterclockwise train, wouldn't that take him right back to Shibuya? The man boarded the train. Kano had no choice but to follow suit. Was this guy playing them? Suspect got off again once the train reached Shibuya. All he done was go to Harajuku and come back. Kano reported in the cruise. The suspect has returned to Shibuya station. Acknowledged. Keep tailing him. Kana found himself going increasingly paranoid. This criminal organization doesn't seem too keen on getting away. And here was HQ giving these guys free rein. Something was off. He was sure of that. As he tailed the mark, Connell took his phone out. What was T knows and thinks about the case right now? If the senior detective had any advice, Connell would love to hear it. He dialed his number. The line rang a few times, but nobody picked up. Probably was too busy seeing to tell me safety. Connell felt bewildered. They had been letting the suspect lead them around for over an hour now. During an abduction case, you generally didn't update the victim's family on any developments in the case, in case they tried to interfere. Connell could only imagine what the Osawa family was going through right now. After a short walk from Shibuya station, the briefcase was handed off yet again. This time, the recipient was a tall, dark-skinned man. Again, the Shibuya-based task force split into two groups in order to tail both suspects. Kano stuck with the man who had the case. As the previous man had done, the new suspect running around Dogen Zaka for a while. Repeatedly looping around and around the same locations was a really weirdly roundabout way to make a series of handoffs. Excuse me, detective? What? Connell turned around with a start. Oh, hey, he said. I know you. It was Leland Palmer, the lecturer who had been an eyewitness to the kidnapping. The man practically radiated concern. How is Maria doing? Is she alright? I'm, worried for her. His Japanese was more halting now. My heart, it is with her family. Hono gave a quick look around. It didn't appear they were being watched. If the, I can't. I don't have time, bro. I just don't have fucking time. If the syndicate spots us, my cover's blown. We're hosed. I can't stick around like this. Leland, I'm sorry, but at this stage, I can't share any details. Is that so? Oh, yes, of course. Leland cast his eyes down and hung his head. Please don't worry, though. We are still hard at work investigating. Ah, yes. Thank you very much. With that, Kano turned away from his lecturer and went back to tailing his suspect. He pulled out the phone from his pocket. It was Rumi again. It was weird. She called twice when she knew he was in the middle of something important. And something happened while she was waiting at the cafe with Shizuno? Shizu? Suo? Jesus. Kano picked up hurriedly. What's the matter? What's the matter? You know what the matter is. Rather than Mumi's soft soprano was a threatening masculine voice that came over the phone. Uh-oh. Kano felt his whole body stiffen with dread. Is this my father-in-law speaking? Don't remember being anyone's father-in-law. The speaker's tone was firm and flat. No, I know, I just, kind of found myself at a loss for words. So you're dating my daughter, huh? Yes, sir, yes, sir. Connell barely squeaked out his response. Thinking about getting married? Yes, sir. Speaking of which, I'd love the chance to sit down and have a nice, long... Then how long are you gonna keep me waiting? Hurry up and get your ass over here! Oh, how very much Connell could wish he'd do exactly that. Sir, I would, but... Forget it. Forget it! The words came in an angry huff. You can't have her! Goodbye! What? Sir, please wait! This Kano cried in desperation. Heard Rumi's voice on the other end of the line. Dad, you can't just use my phone like that. You were taking too long in the bathroom. Give it back! Rumi? Kano tried and failed to keep the heartbreak out of his voice. Sweetie, what's wrong? Your father just said he doesn't want us getting married. What, Dad? What did you say to my boyfriend? Listen to you, calling that boy little pet names and whatnot. I think you're a little too attached. Daddy, you haven't even met him. That's why I told you to have him come see me. How long he's gonna make me wait? Here, now listen as the two argued on the other end of the phone. The phone must be lying between them. Could this get any more awkward? Rumi, I'm sorry! Kano shouted apologetically into the mouthpiece. This is all my fault! Please, you don't have to fight like this! The phone clattered as Rumi scrambled to bring it to her cheek. No, I'm the one who should be sorry. Sorry for what? It was Shizo again, grumbling in the background. You have nothing to apologize for. I'll deal with my father. You just focus on work, sweetie. I know you're in the middle of something really important. Thanks, Rumi. Kano was legitimately touched. I'll do my best. Kano hung up and went back to the task at hand, more determined than ever. For Rumi's sake, not to mention the victims, he needed to focus on cracking this case. The man he was tailing was walking several meters ahead. There was no telling when crews might give the arrest order. Kano braced himself into action the very instant the order came down. Mobile command to all units. Once man the directors came in over the wireless, was the time to make the arrest at last. We've identified the man who first picked up the briefcase by the statue of Hajiko. No arrest yet, but still a crucial development. Ew. His name is Tariq Al-Kawawan. Uh-oh. He's got priors for larceny, illegal possession of narcotics, you name it. He belongs to a foreign criminal syndicate that's operating in Shibuya. Kano felt his apprehension rising. If this syndicate was behind the kidnapping, they were anything but amateurs. And they might be leading the police on a wild goose chase. They certainly weren't playing around. What? Why did Kano need to get in a taxi? Oh. I know why Kano needed to get in a taxi, because he wanted to... In his story, he probably went to go meet Shuzo, but we steered him away. So obviously I'm going to skip all this, because we know what happens. And Kano shouldn't touch the taxi. We should make it on time to save Mr. Toyama. There we go, 10 minutes on the dot, the driver announced. M righted himself and looked out the window. Shibuya Station. I knew you could do it, Mr. Kimizuka. He told the driver how to get to Heaven Publishing. Shouldn't be more than 5 minutes further. Sir, if I may ask, just what are you in such a hurry for? Son of a bitch. I beg your pardon? Kimizuka bristled. Not you, the guy who's waiting on me. M said, I'm gonna give that son of a bitch a piece of my mind. Wait, bro, he's suicidal. You can't just exactly go in there and be like, he was a bitch. You know what I mean? The multi-tenant building where Heaven Publishing had his offices came into view. A taxi stopped outside. M opened the door as he hurriedly reached for his wallet and then stopped. What if the worst had come to pass and he needed to take Toyama to a hospital? Should he have the taxi to wait here, or would it better be call an ambulance? Sir, is there a problem? The driver asked. Wait here, I'll be right back. M was out of the cabin in an instant and running for the building. Once inside, he avoided the elevator in favor of rushing up the stairs. Heaven Publishing rented out the third and fourth floors. In all likelihood, Toyama would be. Yep, we all already know this. It's locked. Whoa! We caught him in time, baby! Toyama was standing on a stool about to slip his head through a noose that's hung from the ceiling. What the hell are you doing? M lunged for Toyama. The two men crashed to the floor in a tangled heap. A piece of clutter slid off a nearby desk and fell on top of them. Meh, what are you doing? Toyama whined, dragging himself back to his feet, proved something of a challenge. That's what I'd like to know! M's fury was mounting. What the hell is all this about? He jabbed an accusing finger at the noose hanging from the ceiling. Oh, that. One of the fluorescent lights died. And I was just swapping it out. Don't you feed me that, Bubba. What was that phone call all about? That business about how you only think you can die? The only thing you can do is die? Tell me! Ha ha ha. Just a joke. Toyama curled his lips into a faint semblance of a smile. Adam wasn't buying it, but I didn't have time to press the issue. Cute little voice echoed through the editing office. Daddy! So... let's think about this for a minute. When I was too late, he already had hung himself. And keep in mind, when we burst down the door this time, he was wrapping it around his neck. He wasn't replacing a fluorescent light and he slipped and the noose fell. No. He was putting it on. He wanted to kill himself. Now, when we were too late, we kicked in the door and he was there hanging. A couple minutes later, his daughter comes in and sees her dad dead, hanging from the fucking ceiling. Think about that. What the fuck? And his daughter's like 7. A little girl came walking in carrying a length of rubber gas tubing. It was Toyama's 5th grade daughter, Hana. Only daughter, currently 10 years old. Unexpected fireworks display. As he looked out of the bursting rockets, decided to name Hana after the Japanese word for fireworks, Hanabi. Stated, Toyama? Were you planning on using that hose to... He hesitated to end the sentence with gas yourself to death. Well, you know. It's almost gas eater season after all. The hell it is! It was a beautiful, sunny April day outside. Well, you know how sensitive I am to the cold. This was getting truly ridiculous. Am got right up in his face. Listen, just explain to me what the heck is going on, okay? He kept his voice low, but his eyes were steely. Hana clung tightly to her father, gazing worriedly at the two men. No, it's just... Toyama let a long, heavy sigh of resignation. Nah! To progress further, you need to jump from another protagonist. Sometimes jump keywords may be hidden within a tip. A man named Junichi showed up in Tama's story. And he lets out a sigh like Toyama's. Yeah. Alright, well, this is a good place to end it. Next episode we will be jumping back into M's story and finding out why the fuck Toyama was about to kill himself. My guess is he's bankrupt, that Heaven Publishing is underwater. But we'll find out next time. Alright guys, and gals, see you in the next one.